All right, so get out of this thing that you're doing right now, Deb, where you're trying to make a performance for everybody. You want to be honest. Okay, so, hand second. Take a deep breath. Hand. All right, here we go. All right. What? I'm taking a breath. All right, so what is the weirdest thing that I've been inspired by? Okay, weirdest thing. I mean, everything's weird. I think that's the biggest problem with life is it's all fundamentally absurd. You know, and I think this is the biggest problem I have when people get super serious about it. People have always been very critical of my work because they say, well, you keep on, every time I go to say the word Trump, it like seems super weird, but you keep trumping your work by putting like base humor in it, like, you know, it's a fart thing, or it's like a puppet, or something like this. And my reaction to that is, well, life is fundamentally absurd, and if you have the juxtaposition between what it means to be an artist and what it means to be a functioning human being versus the absurdity of it all, to not sort of take the piss out of yourself seems like irresponsible in a way. So the majority of my work has been inspired by a full-on 46-year existential crisis, I think, that is rooted in some sort of desire to merge with the infinite in some way, and that has with it emotional weight that seems to propel it all, but that's not necessarily weird, that's just probably acid. So, I think the other things, because I can't think of anything weird, so I'm just going through the list of things that sex has always been a big part of what I do, just because it confuses the shit out of me, and I think it's the same thing as like being seen when I'm eating. It's the same thing, because in my mind, I live so much, and I spend so much time intellectualizing my emotional process and being able to sort of analyze my motivations and be able to get, then all of a sudden the lizard brain kicks in, and you're just like, boobies! And there's something about that I find like terrifyingly embarrassing. Because it's just like, no man, I'm totally cool with it. I'm totally, and why is it? And it's like, but it's the same thing as I think when you have a child and you have this sort of unconditional love for this creature. It's just part of this lizard brain that exists and you can't intellectualize. And I really like that. So perhaps you take a combination of all this stuff, put some carrots, some parsnips, and some of that weird shrimp thing that I had earlier today, and then that would be the weirdest thing that I've written about, for sure. All right. All right. These pants at this proximity are brutal. All right, so ask Devin a question. It says in bold font. If you were an amalgamous of the Harry Potter verse, what is the word? Something about Harry Potter. His guy's name is Rasmus. Is he in here? No? You are? Yeah. Okay, so what is this word? If you were an amalgamous?
Animagus.
What does animagus mean?
It's a wizard that can turn into an animal.
Oh! Sounds fucking badass, man. All right. If you were an animagus in the Harry Potter verse, what animal would you turn into? Okay, let me think about this. So I gotta weigh the options, all right? I think for my current frame of mind, it would probably be a cat. And my reason for that is, well, because you don't have to do shit. Like somebody described a cat to me earlier as it's the weird roommate that shits in a box. And I think I could do that really well. And if you were a dog or something else and you're like, your sense of purpose relied on the fact there was some dumb fucking human. And you're just like, oh my God, I can't wait to your hole. You were gone for 2 hours. Oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I'm so happy to see you. Oh my God, scratch my back, scratch my, oh my God. I mean, but the cat's just like, oh, you're back. Are you gonna feed me and clean out my cat box? Oh, this reminds me of a story. So when I was recording Accelerated Evolution in, I guess it was 2000, we were living in a house and I was recording the vocals in the basement of the house. When you record vocals and when you're singing just in general, you drink a lot of water. So as you're doing it, you have to pee a lot. And I would have to go up the stairs and go pee. But I was drinking so much water and trying to get Storm and Deadhead and all those things out that I was like, you know what? There's a cat box like halfway up the stairs. And my wife at the time, and her mother was living with us too, she had this Persian cat that was really fancy, you know what I mean? Like just like luxurious fur and like that face, it's just like... And I thought, well, if I just piss in it once, it'll be fine. But I'm sure it's the same here where you have the cat litter that turns into a rock, right? And because I'm not, at least at that point, a very disciplined character, what I did was I pissed in it once, and I was like, okay, good, we'll leave that. And then I pissed in it for a full week. And then my wife came up to me one day, and she's like, there's something wrong with Vizzy. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure he'll be okay by tomorrow, right? But what I actually thought would be great is if you then took a shit in the cat box as well. And just had it like hanging over the side, and you get little paw prints like scraping down the walls, and you get like a red Sharpie and just around the white fur on his anus, right? So I'd be a cat if I was an animated, except I would like really, take it for a ride too. If I wanted to be cool, I'd be an owl, because I love cool owls, right? But I'm not. I'd just be a cat and shit in my wife's cat box. But what was the other thing? Oh, I said this the other day, and this makes sense to me as well. I heard that if you die in a house and it's locked in, and you've got a dog locked in the house with you, the dog will wait until it is starving to death before it nibbles on the corpse. Whereas a cat waits until you stop breathing, right? And there's something about that conditional relationship that at least today I'd be into, but good chance tomorrow I'd want to be an owl, and I'd have like laser wings, and I'd have like a big chrome hat. All right. You don't have to clap, you don't have to clap, you don't have to clap. It feels so weird. All right, so, okay. I got two questions here. And any chance of performing Ziltoid as a whole again? Do you have a preferred way of listening to music in your leisure time? Okay, I'm going to go for that one because, well, I'll do them both. Ziltoid, maybe. Who knows? I mean, I'm supposed to be doing a video game for Ziltoid right now, and the graphics are done, and they've got the game engine, and all I'm supposed to do is finish 7 songs for it, but I'm not inspired to do it. So I had a meeting with them yesterday, and they're like, well, we haven't heard from you. And I was like, yeah, I got nothing, man. And the biggest thing that I have to contend with my creative process is sometimes I've got a lot of things, and I think, okay, well, today's the day that I focus on something brutal, or this is the day that I do something mellow or something electronic. And I keep hoping that I'm going to wake up and I'm like, new Ziltoid today, I'll just do this and this and this, but to this date, no. And I think it's the same thing with live performances as well. Until I'm sort of compelled to go in a certain direction, there's no real reason to do it, right? Because if I do it and I'm compelled to do it, it's going to be really the best that I can make it. And if I'm not, I'm just going to be sulking and like, I don't want to do this shit. Right? So, okay, and my preferred way of listening to music in my leisure time? Okay, so my mother, my sister, and myself have something that I have heard referred to as misophonia, which is you are profoundly annoyed by sound, which I have chosen a hell of a career for that. But I think it's because I also write from the point of view of synesthesia, where I see sounds and hear sounds like colors or vibes or shapes or something. A 2 is blue in a circle, and a 3 is green in a triangle, and a D is dark blue, and a C is a lighter blue, and a G is a darker green, and a B is orange, you know what I mean? A is red. It's like kind of how I've been. So as a result of that, sound makes me fucking crazy. So when I'm sitting around, Jim and Paul and I had dinner at the hotel last night, and I had to bring my little speaker and put it in the room because the sound of people chewing makes me want to shoot myself in the face. And not that because they're actually gorgeous eaters. I mean, it's just like mandibles that are full and beefy, and it's actually a joy to hear them eat. But just out of habit, I played music last night, and I do that all the time on one of 2 ways. I've got a little tiny Bose speaker that you can pick it up, and it's got a battery in it so you can play it anywhere. And then I've got noise-canceling headphones, and they are my favorite thing in the world. I've got 2 now. I've got the Bose one, but it had a cable, which drove me crazy. So I got some new Sony thing that I just live in. Because it's just when someone's chewing, or when a baby's crying, or at your, I was at a restaurant the other day, and you could see some dude, he's like a businessman, he had that stupid earpiece in, he sat right in the middle of everybody, and it's like balls first, like I'm sitting right now, and he's like, loudly conducting business, which I cannot help but interpret as, this guy wants to be seen as a businessman, fuck him, right? So I put on my headphones and he was gone. And the type of music that I tend to listen to is down-tempo, instrumental, chill, electronic music, and nothing else. Because it doesn't irritate me, and I don't feel the need to compete with it. All right. Okay, clap that. All right, so what time are we? I got a little list of, like, they gave me a thing that I should be doing for this. Part 1, play some songs, answer some questions, play some more songs. Stop for the interval around 8:15-ish. Okay, it's 8:08. All right, so. You don't want to break the fourth wall with these things, though, like that, because then the audience feels like there's some sort of level of it being contrived, which you really, I mean, God. So 8:15, couple more minutes. All right. Is Ziltoid ever going to return? Okay, so Ziltoid started drinking tea recently. Yeah, he really likes Earl Grey with just a spot of milk and 1 sugar. It's nice. He likes chamomile. He really likes the rooibos as well. You know, the red bush tea, he likes that a lot too. Is he going to return? He will never leave. He's actually on the artwork of Empath. If you open up Empath, he's in the corner summoning the shit that he tends to summon, which are apparently flying and farting ball sacks. But Ziltoid is a manifestation of the part of my personality that results in the really heavy stuff. So he is not only going to return, but he never really leaves, which is unfortunate for a lot of people in my life, but for the sake of, there's a lady that came to the in-store earlier and she made a Ziltoid statue and it was so cool, right? All right, so for you, my dear, he's coming back. So you can thank her. All right, so, would you choose fat fries or slim fries? Well, I'm actually a slim fry guy, but it has to be hot and the salt on it has to be like significant. I really like fries. I'm not a huge fan of yam fries. I do, however, like Chipotle mayo. In fact, anything that says Chipotle on it, I will eat. Really. You could give me a thing that one would not want to eat and put Chipotle mayo on it and I would heavily consider it. In fact, I went to the store today. Oh, a little story. I love apples. That's something I really like. But not raw apples, just like dessert, like apple pie things, because I actually don't like sweet food at all. Salty food, like slim fries. Woo, yeah. Slim fries with Chipotle mayo. Oh, yeah, right? But when it comes for dessert, the only thing that I like is apples. In fact, I don't like anything that's chocolate flavored. I like chocolate. I just don't like chocolate flavored things. It's like, ugh. But apple's great. So I went to the market this morning and I got what I thought was an apple turnover. And I took it to the front and I said, apple turnover. And she looked at me like I was wearing her sweater. And I said, well, what's wrong? She goes, well, that's not apple. It's egg and rice. And I was like, so it's still in my hotel room and I haven't tried it. But this is a normal thing here? Egg and rice turnover? That's a good thing? Is it worth trying? It isn't? So I said no. And it is said yes. Who says yes to egg and rice turnovers? Who says, fuck no, we should get this break so I can get my drinking started? All right, 50-50. All right, so I got 4 more minutes, guys, and I'm going to play a little bit of a song here before we go. This is going to be we're about to get a drink song. All right, so I got to make it up as we go. So let me see.